So I'm going to tell you about the next, what we think is going to be the next high-grade silver district discovery in Canada. And as the previous people said, we're going to make forward-looking statements here. A lot of silver equivalent calculations in here, which are made from generally from spot in February. So just when you see it, that's where the prices are done from. I'm going to approach this a little bit differently. Sterling is a new company and a new discovery. It's a project that's never been drilled before, never been touched before. It was only discovered in 2016. And I think to understand kind of where we're at with this company is you got to understand the tried and true Lassonde curve. If you've seen this before, if you haven't, this is basically the value creation within a mining company during the life cycle of a mining company. And Sterling is right at the beginning. Discovery has been made. Maybe everyone hasn't realized it yet, but this is where you've de-risked the project from discovery, and now you're building on it as value creation kind of grows. So this is very early stage. As I said, this was just discovered in 2016. I like to think of this, I like this conference because I like to think of this story as kind of like discovering a band for the first time. You're in an intimate venue, you see them before anyone else knows them. And we think of Sterling that way, where we're a $10 million market cap with a brand new silver discovery in Canada. And we think that this is something you can grow with and lead with as we kind of grow through time. So I'm going to take you through what we actually did in our first program. But where we started was really just kind of soil samples and a big dream. We had PhD geologists who came in, did isotope analysis and, on the rocks and looked through the outcrops and the soil samples that we'd done and compared our project to Keno Hill. The previous presenters, they've talked a lot about districts. They've talked a lot about silver districts around the world. So the Keno Hill district in Canada produced about 300 million ounces over 100 years. And the western area of the Keno Hill district, this 12-kilometer long strike length, this produced 200 million ounces. So we got really excited because we thought, oh, this is great. We're going to be the next Keno Hill, where you see the vein type, the rock composition is the same. And what we were seeing is kind of, the model is 12 kilometers of 8 mines. And so it's a bunch of deposits, a string of pearls, so to speak, where you're not finding just one mine, you're finding many. And what's so exciting about this is that our project has never been touched. This has never been drilled. So you're talking about the discovery of a brand new district within Canada in a very safe jurisdiction with highway access and road access beside it. I think that to get a sense of 12 kilometers, it's to start, sometimes we say these huge kilometer strike lengths. We talk about things and it's hard to kind of get a real grasp on reality of what we're looking at. So this is the island of Manhattan. The project that we have, it'd be like finding mineralization on Wall Street and then walking up to Harlem, north of Central Park, and basically saying silver, copper, all the way up. So when you've never drilled a project before, when you've never touched it before, this is a big project that to understand the context of this going in for the first time, the real aim of your first drill program is to find the system, to understand the system so that you can hit something, that you can chase it and discover more. So we're going to go through what we actually found this year, where we started with soil samples, we started with trenching, we started with geophysics. And from that, we basically were able to, we kind of zoned in and we said, all right, so where are we going to focus on? We've got this 12-kilometer strike length and we kind of have these key areas of mineralization via these soil samples of high-grade silver, copper, lead, zinc, and antimony. So we drilled some holes from bottom to top, and what we ended up doing is we focused on the south zone because that was where we just ended up hitting a few things that were great. From that, pretty much in the last third of our program, which was about 8,000 meters, we were able to actually put together in our first ever drill program on this project a pretty good sense that there is a big system, and we were able to kind of find something about it. So right here, you're kind of seeing this corridor of mineralization where you see kind of a higher grade 1,000 gram per ton silver equivalent in the middle, surrounded by kind of a lower grade halo, and then a very low grade, but very broad 360 meter by 240 meter by 80 meter halo of a very low grade silver equivalent. But this is a big system that pushed it up here. The rock type that you're dealing with is sulfides that are pushed through quartz veins, but also this country rock where you're seeing kind of these brecciated zones where mineralization is pushing into it, which means that there's a strong system pushing this from somewhere. And why is that so important? Well, it's important because we haven't necessarily found it, but in that string of pearls analogy, I kind of think about this. This is like the top of the first pearl. The top of the first pearl as you move along that 12-kilometer strike. And just as important as that is to understand, okay, so we have a big system here, but what do we do next? And the thing that we were able to figure out is that there is a structural, this is a long section, there's a structural control that traps the mineralization. This gray rock in 2D, it is an argillite shale. It's kind of like this black rock. And what it does is it kind of curls around the blue, which is a dolostone rock, which is where all the mineralization is hosted. And it basically traps mineralization in kind of this pipe formation. And so what we're seeing is this corridor of mineralization pressed down in this kind of gently plunging way. And we basically have created a roadmap in this area to finding more. You're drilling down plunge, you're drilling along strike, and you're at the precipice essentially of a discovery. So again, as I said, this is like the top of the first pearl along the string of pearls. And I think that that's so important because the structural component of this, that argillite trap, it's identified in the geophysics that we've done where gravity and IP kind of come together, and you can see where this dolostone rock matches with the argillite cap. So essentially you can see from bottom to top these areas of interest of mineralization. So where we can find one down at the bottom as we expand this deposit, we can find many along. It's kind of like a rinse, wash, and repeat model. You do it once, you kind of know that it's going to be there. So why this story is so special is that it's not just one deposit that we're looking for. Much like Keno Hill, it's several deposits, if not 8 mines, along this 12-kilometer trend. Okay, so what does that mean? What does that mean for value? We're all here to invest. We're all here to find a story so that we can make some money. Well, let's look at one of the greater stories of the last couple of years in terms of silver discovery. So we're looking at Vizsla. Vizsla is a really, it's a great silver story, but their discovery was 2 years ago. And interestingly enough, there's this saying in investing, I'm sure a lot of people here know it, which is buy on mystery and sell on history. Vizsla, one of the greater discoveries you've had over the last decade in silver, actually made their discovery in January of 2020. And if you take a look at that stock chart, people did not like their discovery in January of 2020. That stock price chopped in half, even though they were able to show discovery grades, 117 grams equivalent over 11 meters. You have 404 grams over 2.5 meters. So to the company, this is very significant. You're finding something that you can chase. This is the beginning of a big system. And then, of course, in July, when they were able to come up with follow-up results, you have the giant spike. You have the understanding that this 14-kilometer trend that they have is something very special. And of course, that's led them to 400 million market cap today, 10 million ton resource. And I think they drilled like 2,000 gram equivalent over 8 meters or something yesterday, something pretty nice. Sterling is at the beginning. Sterling's first results, the first drill program ever done on this project, came out with 240 gram equivalent over 7 meters. We have the high grades in veins at the beginning, the 900 gram equivalent over 1 meter. We have this roadmap for success now. We have the veins that are wide enough to chase down plunge and a long strike. And we have those broader corridors that show you kind of where to go. In the same way, we could kind of say, well, our stock price also chopped in half when there was this discovery. So what we have here, I'm not going to say that it's the same thing, but you have comparable results, a district scale potential, and a $10-12 million market cap, which kind of shows you that you're on that same path. If you think about this as the real life Lassonde curve, you're at the beginning of discovery. Where are you trying to go? You're trying to go as you move forward, and that project gets de-risked, and this thing gets really exciting. You have a lot of value creation moving forward. So we think that this is a pretty compelling investment opportunity. We're really excited about where we're at, a brand new district, and it's nice that we're here in Canada, in Newfoundland. You can drive to site. There's an airport 30 minutes away, power, water, an amazing community, which de-risks this project from all the things that you worry about when you think about mines around the world. And also, one of the things that does differentiate us is that we do have polymetallic exposure. So this project is a silver, copper, zinc, antimony, lead project. And so you have this polymetallic exposure, which I think actually creates a whole new strategic element to the project, as you have copper, zinc, and antimony, all very relevant for the green economy, technology, as you move forward. And it's found right here in Canada, which makes it very unique for the country we live in here. So thanks a lot for listening. Be at the booth, come by anytime.